Good morning and welcome in on this Monday morning as we go live. My name is Helen Jennings. I'm a Stepping Up demonstrator based here in the UK, and it is always a pleasure and delight to welcome people to come and join me to do some crafting. So whether you are joining me live or whether you're watching on catch up, do like, share, follow, comment, ask questions, all of those things, and I will catch up with them in due course. But it's always lovely to do some crafting with you. So let me quickly fly through a bit of the news and introductions. So this is my website and where you will find all things Love-a-Duckie over on www.loveaduckie.co.uk, and that's where you'll find blog posts and classes and tutorials, retired products, links to shops, all of those things you'll be able to find over on my website. And wherever you are looking for me on social media, whether that is Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Pinterest, you'll always be able to find me if you look out for Love-a-Duckie. And it's always good to have you join me in any of those places. Now, we are the 27th of February today, which means we are in the last 2 days of celebration. And I really don't want you missing out on the freebies that you could be getting if you either shop or generate a big order, or if you join the family. All of those are ways that you can earn free products in the next 2 days. So £45 order or more will entitle you to free goodies, and that's either from the celebration brochure, which you can find links to on my website, or there are these extra little goodies here, and you'll find links to all of these in the online shop. So whatever you are looking for, whether it's papers or embossing folders, punches, there's loads of goodies to choose from if you place an order that is £45 or more. If you generate an order that is £275 or more by yourself, or because you've all gathered together with some crafty friends, then you will be getting a free stamp set automatically alongside your usual host rewards that you get when you generate sales of £150 or more, either individually or collectively. So that's a beautiful stamp set that you can be getting added to your order on top of everything else. But of course, if you join the family, that is the biggest bargain at any time of the year, and especially at the moment. And if you join the family, you have 3 options. You can be paying £99 and getting £170 worth of freebies, well, a product of your choice. So you just sort of pay your £99 and you choose what that £170 worth of product would look like. So obviously, if my maths serves me right, that's you pay £99 and you get an extra £71 worth of crafty goodness on top of your £99. So that is got to be a good thing. So if you have anything like a big wish list, that's got to be worth thinking about. The other 2 options for joining the family at this in the next 2 days is that you can opt to pay £125 for your starter kit, and as well as your £170 worth of product of your choice, you can also choose to either have the boho blue mini stamping, cut and emboss machine with all its plates, or you can choose to have the classic white one. So that's you've paid an extra £26 on top of the standard starter kit, but you get a mini machine as well as that additional £170 as opposed to £130 worth of product of your choice. So if you are sitting on the fence, don't sit on the fence for too much longer. Apart from anything, it's cold and drafty out there, but you only have until tomorrow evening to sign up for that. Don't leave it too late. And as I always say, there are no expectations, only opportunities. Um, but if it's not shopping you're thinking about, if it's making cards and you want to get your hands dirty and want to come and join us, we have a few options available. Some of these may need updating, but these are some of the classes coming up in March. We've got a Saturday Stampers, an in-person class that's coming up on Saturday. So doing some springtime cards, things like Easter, Mother's Day, and just generally cards with a spring type feel. The Stamper Stack in March is going to be using the Fancy Flora suite. The Technique class in March is going to be looking at cards that move. Both of those classes are available. The Technique class we can do as a Zoom class if you're not able to make it in person. And the Fancy Flora, the Stamper Stack, you can have as a class in the post. We have our Make One, Take One project class. These again, you can have either or both of these kits in the post, but come along in person and choose either the True Beauty or the Vintage Pretty Bird. As I say, you could have either or both. Have one, have the other, or have both of them. Have one to do in the day and one to take away, however you want to do it. Those are the two kits that are available in March. And then April Stamper Stack is going to be Silly Goose. And what isn't listed on there, and we have also got coming up, is we have got a Crafty Games Night coming up at the end of March. And I will get that added to the slides. It's all been a little bit chaotic at the moment. Very busy, and trying to catch up with everything. But let's not hang around too much further. Let's have a little look at what we're going to look at, some swaps that I've had before we have a quick look at some of what we're going to be playing with today. So let me bring in my downward facing camera, and I have been over the last few sessions sharing some swaps and things that I have received, just to give you some different ideas for things to do with products you might have or products yet to go onto your list. So here's a really pretty card by Claire, using the thistles, and we are actually going to be using the thistles today, so that is good. So that's Claire Cruz. And here we have Helen Peck, and she has used the warm welcome stamps and dies to create this cute little card to welcome a little one. So you've got two big pairs of shoes and one little pair of shoes down the bottom there as you welcome a little one into the world. Really pretty. This one is from Helen Smith. Lots of Helens this morning. Really lovely, that white on white with that embossing folder in the back. And Helen says that this is her first ever swap. Wow, Helen, welcome to the world of swapping. What a beautiful card that is. She's used the cane weave embossing folder in the background and the framed florets stamp set to create these beautiful flowers. Really lovely, and they have been coloured with stamping blends, so that's really rather gorgeous. So lucky to call you friend. And here's the same sentiment on this one. So lucky to call you friend, but this one is using, I'm just going to fight to come out of its wrapper. This one is using the Lucky Clovers, and you can see that this one has been embossed. Really rather pretty. And then you've got the two plain clovers there and a little clover stamping in the background, so that's rather lovely. This one is using the Marigold Moments, and is by Joyce Drake. We've got all those marigolds around the outside there that are really pretty for a feeling better kind of day. And this one is the petal. Oh, I'm going to have a mind blank there. It happens to me often. We'll blame my age, stage, and hormones. The Regency Park suite is where these flowers have come from. Again, you've got that embossing folder in the background. Really rather lovely. Thanks. You are amazing. And that is Sandra. Sandra's Craft Studios. Open that up. Sentimental Park Stamp and Die Bundle. And we've got the cane weave embossing folder again in the background there. Some Wink of Stella. Yeah, really pretty. And that's Sandra Roberts. So there's a few more cards that I will add to my display board that's up at the back there. And as I've said, we are going to be having a bit of a play with the thistles today. I've done a few things with the thistles, but realised I hadn't done a live with them. So today's the day. We're going to have a bit of a play with the live. So here's some serving suggestions from Stamping Up using the those different stamps and dies. And so you've got stamps that you can stamp and colour out. You've got dies that both cut out the stamped images but also enable you to build up these sort of detailed flowers using die cuts. And if we flick to the back, we've got the thistles down here that have been watercoloured by the look of them. Really beautiful set. It is a lovely set, and I have really enjoyed using it for various things. We've done classes with it and various other things, but we haven't done a live, and we are going to combine our use of the thistles with a card challenge. And this is the Crafty Collaborations challenge, Crafty challenge, that is going to be going live. Blog post is going to go live today, so hopefully we shall get our card added to that blog post, but let's certainly get it made. So as you can see, this is a slimline card. Now slimline cards do vary in measurements, depending some ways on where you are in the world, or what sort of envelopes you want to use. There are a variety of slimline cards that you can use. I'm going to be cutting this one to what would fit a DL envelope here in the UK, and I think they are available elsewhere. But you can, you know, copy my design and wiggle around with whatever sizes that you would like. So in order to create a DL size card, I have cut, so I've had a whole piece of A4 that I have cut at 19.8 centimeters long, and then I've scored it at 9.9. So it's the full 21 centimeters deep by 19.8, scored at 9.9, to create this DL size card that is going to fit in to a DL size envelope. And then I have taken some papers. Here's a pack that I haven't used as much as I could do. This is the Pretty Prints paper from the annual catalogue. So we have the Sun Prints paper, which was all in shades of blue. And then we have the Pretty Prints, which came in Bermuda Bay, Blackberry Bliss, Evening Evergreen, and sort of shades in betweens of the greens and the Calypso Coral, Bermuda Bay, sort of Blackberry Bliss, Rich Raspberry, sort of shades of all of those. So they're really pretty patterns, really lovely colours, but they're the same designs, basic designs on the paper as on the Sun Prints paper, just in different colours. So I've taken this one here that is Evening Evergreen, and has got some various shades of green in the background. I've sort of brought it together with a soft sea foam card base, because I thought this sort of, some of this colouring in here picked out that sort of soft sea foam colour. So my card base is soft sea foam. I've got a little mat of card just here, and this is, let me get my centimetre ruler because my paper is on the inches side. This was actually 6.9 by 14 for this mat in the middle here. So I've taken a piece of basic white and I've made this 6.6 by 13.7, so it's 3 millimeters shorter on either side, just to give a bit of border of that soft sea foam, but giving me some basic white to stamp on. Our challenge card just here, as you can see, has got a banner going across the sideways here. I thought I'd bring in some ribbon, and I've got just about hanging on to some evening evergreen open weave. There's not much left there, but obviously this potentially is going to be a retiring colour in a few weeks, so I won't quite stock up on that at the moment unless I wanted lots of it for a particular project. So we're going to add a piece of this ribbon coming across the centre there. Let's just grab my ribbon scissors and we will snip that. And then I think I was thinking we would have a die cut thistle on the front. So I'm going to need, I think we're going to go with a bigger piece. We're going to need this piece just here and this piece. We're going to need a bit of a stem and some of these leaves. I might actually cut that one and then just trim some bits down, trim it smaller than we need it. So I'm going to go just with one thistle on here. Let's die cut our pieces and then we can do some flower arranging and decide where we want to put in sentiments and things. So I am going to bring in my mini cut and emboss machine. And I'm going to take my number 1 plate and 2 number 2 plates. Now I tend to get, I have good results with my number 1 plate and my 2 acrylic plates. But these machines, they do all, they have their own little foibles. They're all, although they calibrate them as much as they can, there may be a little bit of variation in each of the machines, which means that some are going to be slightly tighter than others. We want them to be, you know, a good, relatively tight so that they will feed through, so that our cardstock will cut beautifully when it feeds through, but they all do just vary just slightly. So if you are struggling with your machine to get it to cut with your number 1 plate, then just swap it out for your grey number 3 plate and try that one and see if that one works better. Just have a bit of a play with them. The other thing you want to do as you're running through your machine is you want to create a bit of an E. So I am going to sit these 2 pieces of my thistle on here, and I'm going to have my base plate. I'm going to drop my number 1 acrylic plate back slightly and bring my top acrylic plate forward. It's all wiggling because I've got it. Let's lay it down. I'm trying to hold it in my hand, and where obviously my hand shakes just a little bit, it is wobbling that. So we've got our front plate up to this piece, our plate just there dropped back slightly, and our number 3 plate brought forward. So I can squeeze all that together without it moving. If I turn it over, you can see that that makes like a bit of a, it's a back to front E. If we came that way, it would be an E just there. So you can make that sort of a shape with it. And that also will help as it's feeding the plates through the machine, because it will squeeze, give that little bit more give as it squeezes down on that place, those plates, as they first roll through, and then grab them and it will take the rest through beautifully. So here we have our little piece just here, and these will stick out slightly, give a bit of a 3D effect. we have our stem, and then we're going to need our actual thistle piece. Decisions on thistle colour. Excuse me while I rummage around at my feet. I think I'm going to go with some gorgeous grape. I'm trying to find a little bit of gorgeous grape. So again, we'll put our 2 plates, make a bit of an E with them. And we'll run that through. Let's just bring in our dies. So we've used the bigger dies just there. There is sort of a smaller detailed die cut die piece there that you can be using, so you can make little arrangements of these. We'll have this coming over here like this. This can come on here like this, and you can see how your thistle builds up rather beautifully. I'm going to take a blending brush. Let's give that a good rub. Get some of the colour out of there, because I'm going to take some soft sea sky. So, pick that up. I'm going to add a hint of green. To the back here. I don't want it to go all the way up the edge. I'm just adding a bit in. And we're going to have our sentiment as well. I'm going to take the "There is something beautiful in every day." I do like that. And I think we'll take bring "There is something beautiful in every day" just in there. We've stamped that in gorgeous grape. Let's add that to that soft sea sky, soft sea foam. Mat. Then we'll bring in our ribbon and we'll just wrap that around here and attach to the back. And I'm going to add a little bit of Tombow to the bottom of here. Add in our thistle head. About like that, I think. To stick our paper. Our card base. I'm going to raise this up with some dimensionals. Morning, Janet. And I don't know whether I said morning, Lisa. If I didn't, I apologise. And good morning, Lisa. Lovely to have you joining us. The backings off these dimensionals. Add that on here. And then let's see where we want this to come. About, perhaps just up slightly. About there, I think. I'm going to put a bit of Tombow on here. I'll add some glue to here. I'm going to take it all the way down the stalk though, because I am going to do a bit of snipping off in a minute. My pairs of scissors seems to have disappeared. And a bit of a wiggle like that. Then I had a bit of a disaster as I hit live. I put all my dimensionals in a nice folder and it's just scattered all over the floor. Let's see what we can find. What I actually want is the glossy dots. I'll add those. I'm going to have a few of those just coming round there. So relatively simple. We've used our challenge. Rather than this little semicircle just here, we've got our thistle. From this strip across here, we've got our ribbon, and we've used paper for this background just here. But we've kept the orientation the same as the orientation is in the challenge to make this really simple but pretty little card. And you can see all the embossed detail in that die cut. It's really lovely. They are really lovely dies, gorgeous stamps. I do love this set. But I think we'll have another go at our challenge, and let's turn it round for good measure. Do we want to turn it round that way, or do we want to turn it round that way? We'll decide as we go along, I think. Let's start this time with Seeing around. Have an Orchid Oasis piece of card. And let's cut this, move it out of the way. So I'm going to cut it so you've got your full width of your A4 card, and I'm going to cut it at 19.8 and score it at 9.9. You could do it at 20 and 10, it would still fit your envelope. I just scored that wrong. That was in the wrong place. Hopefully we'll be able to cover that up in a minute. And I'm going to take my leftover piece of Orchid Oasis, and I'm going to cut it down. I think I'm going to cut it to 20 by 8.9. That will come on there like that. I will actually swing this round so our extra score line is on the back. So we're going to have, oh, that's gone very very out of focus. Hello, are you back with us? Yes, I think we are. So we've got a piece there that is centimetres shorter either side. So we've kept it at the same colour. We just trimmed down that extra piece of cardstock that we are made it a centimetre short to each side. I don't know where my other little scissors are going to be gone. I'm going to take my scissors, the blade of my scissors, and rough up the edge. Of this cardstock, just so that it will stand out a little bit. In the background, you can get little tools and things that will help you do this. Some people use a razor blade. I don't know that I trust myself to do that. Sand it with a sanding block. But that's just going to give it a bit of a fluffy edge. Lots of little bits of fluffy card now. It just helps it to stand out, gives a little bit of a shadow around there, will help it to stand out on the background. To come in. I think with the little thistle, no, I'm going to take the big thistle. Put that on a block. Let's take some Orchid Oasis ink. Cut this stamp and stamp thistles. across the bottom here. Let me get one in there. It looks like something's coming off the other end. So just a bit tone on tone. Let's take a little blending brush. I could do this with a big one as well. Just going to come in round the edge, and that will also help that distressed edge to pop as well. There we go. We'll have that sitting on there. Now, if we look at our challenge, I think I might take it this way actually. We're going to want a rectangle to come on the top here with something on there and a little something on there, which is probably going to be our sentiment. So let us take a piece of white cardstock, I think. And I will cut it again to a similar size to this one. Let's remind me of what that was. I think it was 14 by 6.9. I'm going to take my blending brush again and come around the edge of here. Deepen the colour slightly on all of these corners. We'll take away from that again in a minute. Let's have that coming down here. Clean up this sponge for a moment. And let's come in with some pimento, I think. I'm going to stick to this large thistle. And taking a small blending brush. I'm going to add some Orchid Oasis to the flower section. And I'm going to come in with some Evening Evergreen. Again, using our blending brush. So you add some Evening Evergreen just there. I think I might stick with this Evening Evergreen ribbon just here. Do as we did on the other one and add a strip of ribbon across there. And then we'll have our sentiment. And this time I just want to we have a thanks for being a wonderful example to me. I'm just wondering I'm actually going to take a piece of white, basic white. Don't need a massive piece. Let's just punch a piece of basic white using the smaller of that oval set. And I'm going to take some masking tape. I'm going to cover up example to me. And I'm going to cover up A. So now the words that are showing are thanks for being wonderful. There's absolutely no reason why you have to take a whole sentiment as it stands. You are absolutely allowed to play around with that. Let's come in with Evening Evergreen again, I think. So with those words covered up, we will ink that stamp up. But if you're going to do this, this is the important part. Make sure you take off that tape that is covering those words, because it will have ink on it, and if you don't, you will still get that impression. So I'm going to put hopefully thanks for being wonderful on my little oval. Then let's take a little bit of Orchid Oasis and let's punch out the scalloped oval in the background. It will come on here. Hopefully be able to disguise where we've had too much ink down there a little bit. So let's start bringing some of this together. Start by sticking down our stamped and grunged up mat in the background there. And we'll take this ribbon and stick it around here. Of course, we can think weeds, thistles as weeds. You can also get gorgeous ornamental thistles. See, for anybody from Scotland, they are held dear. And there are lots of different types of thistles. Now, I think I'm going to stick that flat this time rather than raise it up. Down this way a little bit. We'll lift up our a little bit. Then let's bring in some of the in colour matte dots, and we'll add some of those in and around. And these are rather lovely because they are I might have left my glue dot behind on that one. Let's just pick that up for now, and I'll sort that out in a minute. Excuse me. I could feel that sneeze coming. Thank you. Actually, take that up a little bit and just add a little bow underneath there. Pretty pretty. Let's find a glue dot. So, 2 thistle cards, 2 slimline thistle cards. One coming this way with some stamping and colour added with some blending brushes, stamping in the background, grunged up edges, bit of ink blending, and then one using those pretty prints papers and some of the die cut thistles in that one to create those 2 cards. So it is a bundle that I have absolutely fallen in love with. I do really love these Thistle cards. I've created quite a few with them for various things, say including a class that we ran. So yeah, they're just beautiful. So if you haven't already added thistles to your wish list, you might want to. And I'm sure if you add a thistle bundle at the moment, oh, £43, you'd need to add in a little something else in order to get yourself a free celebration. But yeah, bundles very often very nearly get you a celebration. That one doesn't quite, but you wouldn't need to add much more in order to get yourself a free celebration item with that bundle. So I hope you've enjoyed those challenge cards. I'm going to go off and do try and tick a few more things off my to-do list, but I'll be back with you very soon. So take care.